Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Sunday afternoon video. Right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down there in my pants, otherwise known as the scritch marks below. So, do it now. We're close to 1,200 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer. We're about 30 away. Hopefully we get there by Memorial Day weekend, so about a month to go. Hopefully get to 1,200 subscribers, and then we go on to 1,300. Maybe by the end of the year we get at least close to 1,500. But we'll see what happens with that. But that's that. So hit that subscribe button. Show my other channels your love and support as well. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos on my respective channels from the past, now, and in the future, going in below you stupid comments, because you will be treated as such, and you will be sent to the Shadow Realm, beaten unmercifully, and then Ozzy and Satan will just come out and laugh at you, and then eat your soul. So, don't do it. If you want to do that shit, go to your own channel that's dead, buried, nobody cares about it, and do your shit there, because you're not going to do it on my channel. And if you don't like that, too bad. Boundaries. Learn boundaries. And if you can't learn boundaries, you need to go back to school. Or at least get some common sense. And that's that. And as always, friend me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, share the video all over the internet. Most importantly, tap and slap that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because you miss anything. Once again, you're SOL. I think we all know what that means by now. And if you don't know, look it up. And if you're brand new here, ladies and gentlemen, you've never seen my channels before in your life, or you're just floating around YouTube at this time of day, and you see my gorgeous, sexy face, because you know you love it, and your girlfriends and moms do too. But if you haven't seen my channels before, and you think about subscribing for like wrestling, music, movies, whatever you like, you came to the right place. So, do it now. Subscribe to the channels. And when you do subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, as we say in the business, because it is a business, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab a mighty big, tasty, cold one, put your stinky, smelly feet up, and enjoy the show. And if you like it, great. You don't, there's the door. Don't let it hit your fat ass on the way out. Or just get out of here. Go watch something else. But you'll stay because you love me, and I don't really love you, most of you people, so. Only the good people. The bad people, they can go to hell. And rot for the rest of their fucking lives, and that's pretty much it. And we move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday. Beautiful Sunday. Started off pretty overcast because it was raining like crazy yesterday into early this morning. Then it started brightening up about a couple hours ago. Now it's going to be a great Sunday. A little bit warmer than yesterday. Not too much warmer. About 55 degrees today. So I'm going to go for a walk in a little bit. After I finish this video, I might go for a little walk. Come back. Do my AEW and Collision review. And then later on tonight, TNA and Ring of Honor. And that's pretty much it. So I am backed up with, since I'm busy this week, and in the next couple weeks I'm going to be busy as well with all the reviews coming, predictions for Backlash, Clash in Italy at the end of this month. We got Double or Nothing. We got a lot. It's insane. Coming up in May, and then the summer is right around the corner. With lots of things, especially in June. And then July, we'll see what happens in July. And then we got SummerSlam. We got All In. And we got a lot of things happening as we close out the summer by Labor Day weekend. Also celebrating year number 17. That's in August. That's August the 9th of this year. So mark it on your calendar. And that's that. And hopefully after the summer is over, we see what happens as we go into the fall and the winter, and then we close out 2026. And then head into 2027 and maybe beyond. We'll see what happens with all that. But please hit that bell so you don't miss anything from now until the end of the year. And we got that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. Go back to work on Monday. For other people, if you go to school, you gotta go to school on Monday. But, school's almost over. About another month, 2 months, really. Unless you live in a state that school ends in, right near Memorial Day weekend. So think about a month to go for school. Or college, or whatever you're doing. But for other people that actually work, you gotta go back to work Monday. But hope you have a great Sunday. Enjoy it, wherever you may be. If it is raining and, there's a lot of severe weather around Chicago today into tomorrow. So be safe around Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, and everywhere else. Just be safe, be well, and if you have to find shelter, find shelter. That's all it is. It is about that. That's it. Alright, did hear about President Trump, that whole thing last night at the White House Correspondents' meeting, dinner, or whatever it was, function, where some schmuck somehow got past security, trying to shoot up the place, and what happened? He got shot up. Now he's going to jail, or he's in jail. He had a manifesto. Now his family like, you fucking idiot, these fucking idiots, left-wing morons, trying to stop Donald Trump from doing his business. The Democrats don't want to fund Homeland Security, and many other things. So, I think it's time for the Republicans to say, enough is enough, and it's time for a change, like the great Owen Hart would say. Get this fucking shit done. Nuke the filibuster. Pass the Save America Act. Fund Homeland Security so we can get the airport people, the TSA, get them back up and running so people can go to their destinations easier, because there's still some delays at the airport. I haven't heard much on CNN or anything really on Fox News either about, TSA delays, like a 5-hour delay, because get through security and shit like that. But hopefully the shutdown with Homeland Security and TSA and everything else can finally get done. It's been 71 fucking days. I mean, it needs to stop. Chuck Schumer, that old as fuck, decrepit piece of shit, needs to get out and go home. Not even go home. Go to an old folks home and rot. And then the Democrats need to just shut up and deal with it. That's it. Let's get some shit done by Memorial Day before July 4th weekend, which is, the 250th anniversary of this great country of America. And it's going to be insane that weekend, too. I guarantee that. Because, they had the ball dropping on July 4th, I think it's July 3rd at midnight. I think it's what it is. But nobody's going to be there. No actual people. I mean, there's going to be people, but it's not, people from around the country. It's like New Year's Eve or anything like that. But they're going to have that in New York. Going to have, of course, the thing in Washington, D.C. for the 250th anniversary. It's going to be insane with people that just are stupid. They think I'm going to go to the White House thing and shoot up people. You're morons. If you don't like America, get out. We wouldn't care any other way. That's that. Alright, but have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy the semi-final week of April. We got 4 more days away. After today, we end April on Thursday. And then this coming weekend, on Friday, we begin the great month of May. And, it's been going to rain here a little bit this week. But Friday's May. It's gonna be May, And May flowers. And hopefully warmer temperatures. coming your way. Not this week. Hopefully, as we start May, the first official week of May, by the time we get to Memorial Day weekend, hopefully warmer weather, and we're going to gear up for hurricane season, which is pretty much started. We haven't heard much in the tropics, but going to gear up in May, June, really July and August, and September. It's when peak hurricane season is. So, batten down the hatches if you're in Florida, and the Bahamas, the Virgin Islands, the Caribbean, Puerto Rico. But hopefully it won't be active or too active. We don't get major hurricanes around the Caribbean areas, and even into Florida, maybe up in the Northeast corridor. But we'll see what happens with that. But we'll talk about hurricane season later, and everything else. But enjoy it while you can, and May is close at hand, and that's that. Alright, after 11 minutes of spiel, which you clipped, and I don't give a fuck about, because you love me anyway, because that's all you got. You're obsessed with me and my intro so much that you have to do boring videos and live streams just talking about it. Thinking I'm weird and everything, and I don't really give two fucks. But thank you for the free view anyway, assholes. But anyway, after that, ladies and gentlemen, on your Sunday afternoon, April 26, 2026, 42626, it is time for your really late, almost so far out of date, NXT review for April the 21st, 2026. And as always, we are emanating from the parking lot at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida, at the Capitol Wrestling Center. Alright, another week of NXT, and as always, our commentary team of the man with creepy jacket, lots of candy, doesn't like when they go on the floor, and that's Vic Joseph, and the sip man he is, the Kool-Aid man, two-time Hall of Famer. You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of the guy, and that's Booker T, sucker! Oh yeah, man. Alright, NXT Revenge, Part 2, or Night 2, was pretty damn good. The ratings went up a smidge. AEW's rating went down a lot, like 93,000, from 710 to 617, somewhere around there. So kind of neck and neck this week. I think NXT won by a smidge, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens this week, as NXT, we're pretty much not going anywhere. We don't have any events after this week. We pretty much go back to normal, and I don't know the next actual event for NXT. Might be in May. I don't think it'll be in May. It might be in June, but we'll see what happens with that. And it's pretty much the final. This was the final NXT for people like Joe Hendry, Sol Ruka, All Ego Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, Blake Monroe. All of them are on the main roster now, and we're gonna get Joe Hendry debuting tomorrow on Raw, Blake Monroe and Ricky Starks on SmackDown this week. That should be interesting. And pretty much we're gonna see the new look NXT this Tuesday night. We still have Tony D'Angelo, my cousin, so, and now it's pretty much his show now. So there's not many other big stars like Tatum Paxley and Miles, we'll call him Ozzy Osbourne and people like that. So basically now the up-and-comers are going to be part of NXT. So kind of sucks that those people I mentioned are now on the main roster, and now NXT's pretty much got gutted. Thanks, Hunter. But we'll see. Maybe some people from the main roster go down to NXT. We got that. Alright. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so we got an opening recap of Night 1 from last week. So we get all that and a whole bag of chips. And we start off this week's show with match number 1 for the men's North American title. We had Stephanie Vaquera's boyfriend, and that's Miles, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne, takes on, well, the so-called leader of Dark State, or Deuces and Jokers, and that's Dion Lennox, whereas the rest of Deuces and Jokers, that's Cutler James, Saquon Sugars, and Osiris Griffin at ringside. I was like, I hope we don't get a title change. Thankfully, we did not. But anyway, they charge at each other to start. Dion takes him down for an early near fall. Miles is back up with a suplex for a near fall. Knocks Dion to the outside for a big flippy dippity-doo. They get back up. Dion knocks him off the apron, ow, and then drops him onto the apron, ow, ow, as we go to break, come right back. Miles fires off some clotheslines, tries to get the comeback, but he gets clothesline to the outside. Dion then drops him on the ring steps, ow, and then brings him back in, gets a near fall. Miles tries another comeback, and an AA on the knee. Well, not like collateral damage like Adam Cole Baby would do, but anyway. So he gets a near fall out of that. And then Dark State, you knew that was going to cause a distraction. They do that. Dion gets in a superplex for a very near fall. Then they slug it out. And then a double clothesline for a double down. And then, once again, Dark State tries to get involved again. Miles shoves Dion into Saquon Sugars. They've been going at it the last couple weeks. And Dion gets shoved into Saquon Sugars. And then Miles with Born Again, or the Danger Zone, the Zigzag, whatever you want to call it. 1, 2, 3, he retains the men's North American title in under 11.5 minutes. Could have been a better match, but still, 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. We move on. Alright, after that, we get a video of the lovely Blake Monroe. Oh my. She's looking at her custom women's North American title, and she has a casket match with Tatum Paxley for her women's North American title. So she's admiring herself in the gold and everything. Then the Vanity Project, who looked like they were kind of forming like a union or something with her, start ignoring her. So she goes off to do her thing. I'm like, okay, if you need them, text them or call. I don't know what's going on with that. And now Blake Monroe's on the main roster, so that was like a waste of time. For the last couple weeks, they were doing segments. They were doing segments together, and now Blake is doing her own thing on SmackDown this week. I don't know. She might be on NXT this week. I doubt it, but we'll see. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to the back. Saquon Sugars tells Robbie E., the GM of NXT, that Dark State needs one more chance for some gold. But Robbie E. says, come with me. Where? Out the door, maybe. Who wants to rock with Robbie E.? I wouldn't. I don't know where we're going to go. Probably out the door. We get that. Alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get to my boy, Shiloh Hill. Follows me on Twitter still. Good man. He gives, his good friend, Tatum Paxley, the Women's North American Champion, a pep talk before her casket match with Blake Monroe. And we find out Shiloh will be taking on Ricky Starks this Tuesday on the program. That's Ricky's final match. I can pretty much expect that Shiloh will probably beat Ricky. But then again, Ricky could win. Then he's like, I'm going to SmackDown. So we'll see what happens with that. The creepy couple that Shiloh and Tatum are. Kind of like redoing Crowbar and my girl, Shannon. That's Daphne. Coming up on her birthday pretty soon. And then the eventual anniversary of her death, I think it's been 5 years? 4 or 5 years now? But she's having fun up there. I miss her. I think we all miss her, Crowbar especially. So, and I talked to Crowbar about it. Maybe, I think, a year or two after her death. I talked to him for a good 5 minutes about, Daphne's passing. I said, it really affected me. Because I use her as a pick base and everything for my E-Fed. I was following her career here and there, even though her career kind of abruptly ended in TNA with that Monsters Ball match, and she never kind of recovered from that. We she did conventions here and there, but we all miss Daphne, and just mental health strikes its disgusting, horrible head. The whole Hana Kimura effect. What happened to Daphne, pretty much. What are you gonna do? Alright, we move on. That's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, after Shiloh talks to Tatum, and then we're gonna get Ricky Starks and Shiloh this week, we go back to the ring with our next match. We got below average Joe Hendry. We have to say his name. He appears. Joe Hendry. He takes on Obafemi 2.0, the big man, Kiana Carver. We're going to see him actually tonight. LFG Season 3 premieres. Go watch that tonight. I think that's at 10 p.m. on A&E. So check that out. Season 3 begins with Kevin Steen and Natalya as coaches, taking over for The Undertaker and Mickie James, or Michelle McCool. So Season 3 will begin, and most of those people that you will see on Season 3, gone. Except for Kiana Carver. We'll have that whole incident with Booker T. We'll see that. But Trill London, gone. Serena Linton, gone. What was this on? It's on Season 3. That might be gone. I know Serena Linton, Trill London, a couple other people that you would see there that are pretty much gone as well. We know Danny Sikelski won last year along with Shiloh. So we're gonna get new NXT contracts this year. Don't know who it's gonna be. Might be Anthony Luke. I don't know. That's Maxine Dupree's husband. Might be Zelina. I don't know. Not that Zelina, but might get her. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. For the men, I don't know who could win that. I don't know. I have to see who's gonna be on the men's part. As long as it's not BJ Ray, I hope he's not on the fucking show. They should kick him off. I think they released him. Thank the Lord for that. Fuck that guy. Move on. Alright, so Joe Hendry, Kiana Carver go at it after what happened last week, where Kiana beat the shit out of Joe Hendry, busted him wide open and everything. And, this match was like a little over 9 minutes. Back and forth they went. Joe tried to do everything in his power to stop this behemoth, but, he sent to the outside for a little breather. We go to break, come back. Keanu sets off a German suplex, hits a big backbreaker. Then he hit another one to kind of, make that torque on the back. Ow. Then he tried to charge into the corner, but, Joe Hendry moved out of the way. Keanu hits the post. Ow. And then Joe Hendry couldn't even, has to be stupid and does a stupid pose. But Keanu's like, fuck your pose. And started beating the shit out of Joe Hendry with right hand after right hand after right hand. And then the referee's like, that's it. He dead. He dead. He done. He dead. So that's it. So Kiana Carver wins the match via referee stoppage. So, bye-bye to Joe Hendry. He's on the main roster now, about to get beat up by Roman. And the Usos and pretty much everybody, Walter maybe. And Oba. Ho-ho! So yeah. We'll see what happens with Joe, average, below average Joe on Raw tomorrow night on Netflix. But, what a way to go, huh? Getting your ass handed to you by Oba Femi 2.0, basically. That's that. Alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Just a basic murder on NXT this past week, and that's that. Alright, then we get a video for a newcomer to NXT. She's going to be making her debut this week, and her name is Lizzie Rain, the Metal Rocker. I like it. And for those of you who don't know, she's a UK indie star. I forgot her actual real name. I think it's not Lizzie, obviously. I think it's Lexi, something like that. But I swear to God, when I saw this freaking vignette, I was like, wait a minute, is that Gloria Glitter from Wow Women of Wrestling? I'm like, I didn't know she was, coming to WWE. I didn't know. It looked like her. I was like, wait a minute, huh? I had to do a double take. Wait, it can't be her. But she's big in the UK. So now she takes her talents to, she signed with the WWE ID program. Now she's on NXT. And we're going to see her next week. The Metal Rocker. So, I guess the female version of Van Hammer, God rest his mighty soul. Maybe, Rick Boogs 2.0, but in a female version. Rick Boogs! I miss that guy. He's on American Gladiators, by the way. Him, Camille, and Wardlow. Not that they do anything good, but, Camille is Hurricane. I don't remember what Wardlow and Rick Boogs' characters are. Because I didn't really watch much of American Gladiators, because I think it's boring. Because, The Miz is on it. Not the same American Gladiators I grew up with Mike Adamle and Larry Zonka and all that shit. Turbo! And Zap and Diamond and all the great people and all the great freaking events like Atmosphere. The Wall, obviously the Wall, Powerball, the Eliminator, how many versions of the Eliminator? The thing with the rings, I forgot what it was called. Sky High, I think it was called. There's another one that you hang upside down, and you're like going against the gladiator to get to the end. So, like you're racing the gladiator and they're trying to get you off or they're trying to beat you. That was a fun event. They had all these weird new events, which was kind of cool. Then the Hogan era came and they had that weird event where you're just going straight through the gladiators. And you get like points. Okay. It felt like the end of the Eliminator. And even then, they had some weird events during the Hogan era American Gladiators, or Gladiators 2000. Brother! Stuff like that. But nowadays, I can't get into American Gladiators. I can't. Yeah, it has Camille, Wardlow, and Rick Boogs, but it's not great. And having the Miz on the show, I'm like, meh. Miz gets more money for reality television. Basically. And needs the money. I guess not. But yeah, Lizzie Rain, makes her debut and will rock the house next week. We got that. Or this week. We move on. Alright, back to the ring we go with the Speed title, the men's Speed title tournament finals. We got Lexis King with Birthmark at ringside. That's, Ariana Grace, the TNA Knockouts champion, her husband Stacks Mahomes, and Uriah Connors, and I don't think we saw Charlie Dempsey there, but anyway, they're out there just to support Lexis King as he takes on EK Prosper. It used to be Eli Knight. 5-minute time limit for the title matches. And a pretty good match, actually. It wasn't great, but still good. I was hoping that, they were pushing EK Prosper to the fucking moon. You'd think he was gonna win, right? No. The Birthright offers distractions galore in this match. And then, Lexus hits a backstabber, circa Gordito. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Gordito. Here's a backstabber for a near fall. We got 2 minutes left. Lexus goes to the coronation, gets broken up. They go to the apron for a chop fest. Woo! And then EK sends Lexus outside and then he hits a moonsault onto everybody. Well, just the men, obviously. I don't think Ariana Grace got it. Well, she didn't get hit. We got a minute to go. And then, speaking of Ariana Grace, she offers a distraction. What else is new? And, EK, basically looking at her titties, and then, he's like, I don't need you, and then the fans like, get in the ring, you idiot! Well, he got in the ring, and, Lexus was waiting for him, hits the coronation. 1, 2, 3, we have a new men's speed champion in Lexus King. I can only imagine that the great Brian Pillman Sr. is happy with his son, Brian Pillman Jr., because he got his technically first title in WWE. Granted, it's a trinket, but at least you saw it somewhere. But, alright, so Lexus King, the new speed champion, and he won it with 28 seconds left. So he gets the title, so now he has a title. Ariana Grace has her TNA Knockouts title. Now, well, Charlie Dempsey and Stax may be getting those tag team titles. We'll see what happens with that. And we move on, my friends. We move on. Alright, decent match. 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's that. And on the women's side, who is the women's speed champion? Holy crap. Who won that title? I don't even remember. I don't even know. Let me see. I think it's not Fallon Henley and all that. Let me see if I can get who that is. Like I said, I don't even remember. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get the computer to load it. Alright, while that's loading. That's right, Maddie. How could I forget? My girl Maddie Lankowski is the women's speed champion. So I don't know if they're going to do another tournament for her title, or what's going to happen. But we will move on. Alright, we'll move on with that. But congrats to Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr. for his first title in WWE/NXT. We got that. Alright, then we get to some weird segments with the Vanity Project. Now, we see Jackson Drake. He got set up by, well, he has a date. I don't know how, he must have been Plenty of Fish or Tinder or Bumble, or not Bumble, well, Bumble, basically. So he's waiting for a date to show up. And then we have the rest of the Vanity Project, Brett Baylor, and Ricky Smokes. They're kind of like the wingmen, if you will. Apparently Drake got stood up by his date, whoever that was. Maybe it was Blake Monroe, I don't know. But anyway, so they're all ready to leave, and then a woman comes in. This big woman comes in. Not big fat woman, but big woman comes in, and it's Bailey Humphries from LFG Seasons 1, 2, and I think she's on Season 3. She comes in and says, hey, I heard you got stood up. So they start talking, and then later on, we find out from Brett Baylor and Ricky Smokes that Shadow Hill did all this shit. So I go on Shadow's X, like, did you set up Jackson Drake with Bailey Humphries. I mean, that's savage. Nothing bad about her. I mean, was like the Undertaker's protege. Remember when we saw it on season 1 and 2? She didn't win. I thought she was going to win season 1. But obviously Tyra May Steele won that. And she now gone. So, she was on season 2. That didn't happen. Even P. Nasty, you know, the Samoan werewolf, I call her. She's on season 3, I believe. She's in Evolve now. But now she changed her name to P. Nasty. And every time she did a match on LOG, you know, you get the ones, because, you know, she's Samoan, obviously. She's in the bloodline lineage. Or at least Samoan-ish, but, you know. But I want P. Nasty to win this year. I'm going for it. If it's not her, probably going to be Zelina. You know, Bubba Ray Dudley's girl, basically. For the last 2 seasons. Should have won season 1. Looked like she was about to win season 2, but she got eliminated, I think, in the quarterfinals or the semis. To eventually, the upstart, my girl Danny Sikelski, now Skylar Ray, who's now on Evolve. And I mean, it is what it is. Now, Serena Linton, who had a nice, you know, a nice run on season 2. I think she's on season 3. Obviously, she's not going to win because she got released. So, you know, she has some more seasoning. She's like, oh, you got to do more seasoning, you know. So I think she's going to go to AEW. Because with the NXT talent that ended, that left, which was Andre Chase, Serena Linton, Trill London, Tariq Igve, Tyson DuPont, you know, the big, what used to be High Rise, they're gone. Forgot who else. Anybody who got released from NXT, they got 60-day non-compete clauses, so they can't wrestle until pretty much the end of June or early July. So, we'll see some of that maybe in AEW, but with people like the Wyatt Six, Kyrie, I don't even know what's going to happen with Kyrie at this point right now. Still doing that hashtag We Want Kyrie thing. Hopefully that works. We can get Kyrie back to kind of finish this Asuka Io saga with Kyrie in it. Because it makes no sense to do a match with Asuka and Io right now. So hopefully we can get Kyrie back. As far as the Wyatt Six, I think they got royally fucked. Bray Wyatt's looking down like, you sons of bitches. And you can tell they're going to go to AEW. And imagine the Wyatt Six getting involved with a possible reunion of the House of Black. I guarantee Malachi Black's going back to AEW with Zelina Vega. That'd be great. And then they have a reunion with Brody Hoot King, and Buddy Murphy's should be coming back from his horrific ankle injury. Don't know when he's going to get cleared. If he has been cleared, we just don't know what he's doing right now. But I think we're going to get that. And then you don't even have to bring back Julia Hart, because she's now in the Sisters of Sin with Sky Blue and Thekla. You can put Zelina right in that spot. So, goodbye Julia Hart, insert Zelina Vega, or now, I guess you can't lose Zelina Vega, now he's going to use her real name, Dia Trinidad. So, then again, Zelina could go back to TNA and go back to being Rosita. Maybe she does something with Mike Santana. I don't know. Maybe a reformation of LAX. I mean, you got Diamante there. They could do something. They could do something like a LAX reunion. Have Diamante, Zelina, or Dia, and maybe somebody else. They have a nice little Latin American exchange faction with the women. I don't know who else you can get, but I'm thinking Aleister Black is going to become Malachi Black again. He's going to re-debut again in AEW like Andrade did. You know, now he's not doing nothing again. See, the third time around works for Malachi Black. God forbid he gets released again. Or his contract ends. They're like, you know what? I'm going back to WWE again. No, go to Japan. go to Mexico, go to Puerto Rico. Just stay away from WWE. I think that's where the Wyatts are going to go. Why is it going to AEW? Imagine that faction against the House of Black. Oh, or the Death Riders, if they're even still around by then. But Death Riders have been around for 3, almost 4 years now. It's just insane. And what Moxley and them did to freaking Ospreay, woo, on Collision last night. Oh, I was like, holy shit! They kidnapped him, took him to a warehouse, sat him down. And then freaking Marina Shafir takes a freaking towel, wraps it around Ospreay's neck, and goes, I'm like, oh shit! Like, kind of, refigured his neck, and then she's like, massaging his neck. Roddy, you need to control your girl, dude. Because, Alex Wings Eyes like, what the fuck are you doing to my man? Hey. If I'm getting a massage from Marina Shafir, I'm gonna like it anyway. But I'm like, oh, it's you, Marina Shafir. Damn it, I was hoping it was Mina Shirakawa. Fuck! Fuck! Hey, I take a massage from Mina Shirakawa any day of the week, my friends. I digress. Alright, so get back to NXT. Now let's see what happens with this, with Bailey Humphries and Jackson Drake, with their little date, if you will. That's that. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, back to the Capitol Wrestling Center we go. We see Saquon Sugars telling Dark State they're getting another shot at the North American title. Great. But it's not Dion getting the title shot. Saquon Sugars gets it this Tuesday night. And Dion is kind of happy, kind of not happy. He's like, oh great, Saquon, we're gonna get gold. No, you're not. Just break up Dark State. I'm getting sick of them. I'm getting sick. It was good. It was good for like when a little bit good when they feuded with my cousin Tony D and the family, and then they got royally their asses handed to them. Because you don't mess with the Italians and the mafia. So fuck that. So now Dark State needs to just go bye-bye. I think Dion's going to go his merry way, go to a singles run, and Dark State will just be a trio, I guess. Who cares? Alright, so this week on NXT, Saquon Sugars takes on Miles and call him Ozzy Osbourne for his men's North American title. Fun. We get that. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we're going to look at Delta costing resident surfer girl Soruka her Raw debut last week against Liv Morgan when we saw that. Let me move on. Alright, then it's time for the women's North American title match. I guess this is the final match in their trilogy. Bleak Monroe takes on Tatum Paxley in a casket match. Nice looking casket, by the way, made by Shiloh. Hey, if you need a casket, hit up my boy Shiloh on Twitter. Maybe, just maybe, he'll make one for you. I don't need one. Maybe by him, but because I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So, God intended, but God forbid that. Nobody wants to see that because everybody will miss me. Even you faggot trolls out there, you'll miss me when I leave. But I'm gonna haunt you from heaven. Because when you go, you're not coming to see me. You're going to see him. Right, Satan? That's all right. Right? I'm going to kill them. I'm going to eat their souls. Because I'm Satan Almighty. That's right, Satan. Is it hot down there? Oh, it's really hot. Okay. Satan Almighty. Okay, stop it. Moving on. Alright, this match was insane. Tatum pulls out her dollhouse. That's something you don't see every day. And then gets drop kicked into it. Ow! Oh. We go to break. We come back. They're fighting on the apron. And they trade strikes to face. Crash into the casket. Which closed. And I'm like, wait a minute. who won the match? It doesn't count because one person has to be in the casket, so they get out of the casket, and then they slug it out on top of the casket. Blake goes for the glamour shot, gets countered into a Spanish fly on the floor. Ow, that was nice. So we get a double down. Then Blake gets back up with a fire extinguisher shot. Well, I think she sprayed it. I don't want to spray it, obviously. Then hits the glamour shot, knocks Tatum for a loop. And then Blake puts Tatum in the casket, about to close the lid, but somehow Tatum gets her women's North American title up just in time before it fully closed, so nope, can't win that way. And Blake's like, I want, no, and the referee's like, no, look! So, back in the ring, Blake beats the crap out of her with the women's North American title. Then she grabs a bag. I wonder what's in the bag. It's not tacks. It's not glass. Well, it's diamonds. We've seen that before with her and, I think it was it Jordan? I think it was Jordan Grace in that match where Blake pulled out the diamonds and then she won that street fight. I think it was Blake or Izzy, I forget. But anyway, pulls out the diamonds and looked to hit the glamour shot on the diamonds, but Tatum gets right back, hits cemetery drive on the diamonds. Ow! Then the scorpion kick knocks Blake into the casket, and then Tatum goes over, shuts the lid, wins the match, and retains the women's North American title. Pretty good match for almost 12 minutes. Great match, and I assume now Blake has gone to hell. But we'll see her Friday night on SmackDown, so maybe we see her Tuesday night with a final goodbye or some type of segment. Or maybe just, like I said, Tatum's like, oh, you're going to hell, but really, you're going to SmackDown. Which is kind of like hell, but whatever. So we see that. And I think Tatum needs new challengers. Get away from get away from Blake Monroe. And, you finished off with Izzy Dame, who's going after, I guess now going after Lola Vice. Let Tatum face somebody else, like Kendall Gray maybe, who else? Kaylee Armstrong, even though she's going after the women's title. We need new challengers for her. And Maddie, too, if you think about it, for the speed title. So we've got that tournament probably coming up soon. See who her next challenger is and that stuff. But this feud between Blake and Tatum is pretty much history. And now, on the greener pastures with Tatum. That's that. Alright. Then we go back to Jackson Drake's date with Bailey Humphries. Now, what was her name now? She has now a new name. Not Bailey Humphries, obviously. I forgot what her name is. Actually, can I look that up? Maybe I can. Let me see. Maybe I can look it up. I know she's on Evolve, but I don't remember her name in Evolve. Let's see here. No. She has this weird name. I don't even remember it. It's just some weird fucking name. We'll just go with that. But anyway, she's sitting down with Jackson Drake, talking and everything, and like I said, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smoke, Baylor and Smokes are like looking on. It's like, this has Shiloh written all over it. Pretty much. But anyway, they're talking about, she apparently used to dissect horses with her bare hands. Ew. And she points out that the woman he was supposed to meet seems to be an AI bot. Fuck AI, by the way. And Shiloh is blamed for it. They leave together, and then she just smacks some random dude. And Drake's like, ooh, I like this chick. Yeah, they're gonna fuck, probably. Who knows? I feel bad for you, Jackson Drake. You're gonna get beaten down. Your dick is gonna take a beating. Shit. remember to wrap it up. God forbid, But anyway, yeah. So basically, he leaves, and then Baylor and Smokes leave with him. Wait, four-way? Damn. Or now, I guess now that Blake Humphries is gonna be the new muscle of the Vanity Project? I don't know. And we move on with that. Alright, so all that, I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, then it's time for Lola Faisese. The NXT Women's Champion comes out, talks about all the good things that Casey did for the women's division, but now it's her time. Mentions last week she saw a bunch of women coming after her. Kendall Gray, Izzy, Kaylee Armstrong, to make their own moments. Lola's ready for them because she's a fighting champion, ready for anybody. And then she says, you don't just walk up to Vice City and come to her, because all it's going to get you is knocked out and danced on. Ooh, yeah. Dance on me, Lola. I know you got Poppy Priest, but whatever. We'll work it out. And speaking of Izzy Dame, she comes out with a cuckling, Nico and Sean Spears. Izzy says, I am indeed a threat to your title, but she's like, Lola, have you started to feel the change yet? The women are going to look at you differently and waiting on you, just like I am. So, Izzy's like, Lola's like, come on in, fight, let's go, chica, And then Sean Spears and Nico get in. I'm like, wait a minute, 3-on-1 beatdown? No. Izzy hits that big boot to face. And there you go. Izzy Dame versus Lola. I'm going to start their little feud. Their little program. I think Lola's going to beat the fuck out of her, but we've got that. Alright, that's it. 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, we're in the back. The new Speed Champion, Lexis King, is all happy with his win over EK Prosper. And speaking of EK Prosper, he comes in with DVD, Dorian Van Dux, who had a great match in the semis. They come in and say Lexis couldn't win the belt on his own, so a tag match seems like it's going to happen with Teddy Long, player. And then Ariana Grace says, we got a party to plan. We don't need to talk to you people. Hey, am I invited to the party? I guess not. Well, fuck you guys. I'll hang out with my cousin Tony D. That's that. Moving on. Alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. So like I said, Tuesday, probably get that tag team match with Lexis King and probably Uriah Connors to get on DVD and EK Prosper. No, not DVD like Rob Van Dam, but Dorian Van Dux. We got that. Moving on. Alright, then we get a nice second part video of Kendall Gray's Chronicles. This time, we find out she was a successful wrestler, amateur wrestler, including, she fought against boys in high school, whipped their ass, damn. She kept getting scars over the years, including taking a foul ball at a Yankee game, even though it looked like a Met game. Go figure that one out. Well, she wanted to tell us something about herself. She wants the women's title. That's it. So maybe a part 3. I don't know. That's that. Alright, after that, and I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we see Robbie E. checking on Lola Vice after her beatdown by Izzy Dame. But then we hear some commotion in his office, and he runs in. We see Ricky Starks beating the crap out of my boy Shiloh, and like he knocked over, I don't know what, it was like a file cabinet or something. It was on Shiloh's like rib cage, and Ricky's like beating the crap out of him. And then Ricky's like, oh, you want me to make an impact? Something like that. And he's like, get out of here. And people on, I think it was on, people on, they actually put up the video on WWE NXT, the YouTube page, and WWE YouTube page. People were saying in the comments that Robbie E said the N-word. I had to look at it 5, 6, 7 times. They kept getting funnier every single time. And I'm like, wait, I didn't hear Robbie E say the N-word. Clean out your ears, fuckers. We get that. But yeah. So yeah, Ricky Starks, beat up my boy Shiloh and dropped the freaking file cabinet on his stomach. Ugh. that's gonna hurt for a while. I think Charlotte might have some bad banged up ribs. We'll see. Moving on. All right, then. Pretty much after that, after Robbie E's office has to get fixed, we go to break. We come back. My cousin, my legit cousin, you sir, Tony, my cuz, come here. My cuz, Tony D'Angelo, who cooks some great Italian food for me and the missus for $2. You have to get it for different prices. Yeah, I know. We went to that restaurant yesterday. Man, that food was good. Not your food. I mean, Tony. I mean, come on. Salvatore and Giuseppe. Cooking up that great chicken parmesan, some calamari. Chicken palm. The pasta. All the good stuff. But I went to this restaurant yesterday. Oh, chicken with mozzarella and white wine sauce around it. A little prosciutto, which I didn't have because I don't like prosciutto at all. But man, it was good. Can you get Salvatore and Giuseppe to cook that for me and the missus tonight? Good? Okay. We'll talk later. My cuz. So me and the missus are gonna have some chicken with some mozzarella, a little prosciutto for the missus, nothing for me. Some white wine sauce and a pasta on the side, a little calamari. Oh, we're gonna have fun. That's later. But anyway, my cuz comes up to Robbie E, and then he gets a box, this weird-looking box with some Japanese writing on it, which means war. I wonder who that could be. Could it be the guy that just signed? And his name is Evil. Yep, that's who it is. So he gets that box from some weird stagehand, like, here, Tony. What the fuck you giving my cousin some fucking shit? What is this? What is this? I don't know. He didn't open it up, obviously. So then Kiana Carver comes up to him, and Tony thinks it's him. Well, obviously not, because if you follow Japanese lore and understand Japanese characters and the writing like I do, it meant war. So, Tony D is going to war with some Japanese Yakuza people, I assume, and then that one guy is evil. People thought it was Hiromu Takahashi. I doubt that. They didn't sign him yet. I haven't heard anything from Takahashi. And then there was another guy from New Japan, not Evil. I forgot his name, but he was in New Japan. Then again, it could be all three of them. Who knows? And then you bring in Shinsuke down to NXT again. That would be nice. I think they might do that because they're not doing anything with Shinsuke. How about bring him down to NXT? He's good friends with freaking Evil. And then bring in Tama Tonga to have that little New Japan type thing. I mean, we've seen the last couple of weeks Shinsuke and Tama Tonga with their segments. We haven't seen it lately, but Shinsuke's like, you need to get away from the M&T. So I'm like, all right, here's the faction. Shinsuke's little faction, little Japanese faction, if you will. Not Bullet Club, obviously, but you can have him, Tama Tonga, Evil, and then Hiromu Takahashi. I would love that. Or maybe the other guy from, I forgot his name, not Sengo, I don't know his name. I read it and I forgot. That's it. We move on. Alright, so we'll see what happens with Tony D and this box, basically. I think it's Evil. Let me move on. 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get to your main event of NXT. Last woman standing. The final encounter between Delta and Sol Ruka. Obviously, you know what a last person standing match is. You can't get up by the count of 10. You win. This match was epic. I think this might be NXT Match of the Year. And that was April 26th, but this match went all over the place. Sunset flip bomb on the announcer's table. Got blocked. Zarya kicks her in the face. F5 gets escaped as Sol Ruca spears her through the wooden wall underneath the balcony. That gets broken like every like month or so. They need to fix that thing. Put some metal in that. Anyway. So, that was insane. We go to break, we come back, they're slugging on a barricade, and then into the crowd. Actually, well, on the barricade, and then then Delta hits a release F5 through the table, which broke, and then Big Joseph's candy goes all over the place. Fuck! Where's my candy? Hey, you got a 5-second rule. Just pick it up. Anyway, but Sol got up, I think at 8.5 or 9. So Zarya sets up not a Slim Jim table. Actually, I think it was a Slim Jim table. Can we get some regular tables, please? Anyway. She sets up the table, gets German suplex on the floor. Ow. Then a running knee puts her down. Then another table is set up right next to it. More on that later. Delta gets back up, sets up I think a third table, maybe anyway, puts up another table right next to it. I was saying 3 tables, I guess. Well, one table wasn't set up yet, so that table and then another table next to it. So Ruca then hits her with the cover of the announcer's table. Ow. And then she goes up on the platform. They go into the crowd and up on the platform. And Delta, what's she gonna do? Follows her. Hits and then gets hit with a soul snatcher. I was like, shit. Delta somehow beat the count. Then they slug it out on the top of the balcony. And then Delta almost gets sent to her doom. But somehow Sol Ruca pulled her back. Delta's like, thank you, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for the last month and so I pissed you off. And cost you matches and shit like that. Can we get a hug? Let's hug it in, man. So they hug. And obviously that was a ruse, because then you see Delta's face like, mean. They hug, they embrace, and then Delta's like, fuck you, bitch! Pushes her off the platform to her doom. Sol goes through the table, and then her back of the head hits the second table. I was like, oh shit! But thankfully, she's not dead. She didn't suffer concussion or anything like that. And then, pretty much, Delta won the match, because Sol didn't get up at the count of 10. So, wild ending to this epic match. I gave 5 out of 5. Clearly 5 out of 5. It was just epic to end their little feud trilogy, if you will. But, big win for Delta. Now, where does she go? I assume she's going to be thrust right into the Lola Vice title picture. She's got to wait, obviously. Because she got Izzy Dame, who Lola's going to beat her. Then, I think Lola's going to beat Kendall Gray, because I think Kendall might be going to the main roster pretty soon. And then, I think the last one is going to be, I think the one that beat her is probably going to be either Delta or Kaylee Armstrong. I have a feeling. I would love Kendall Gray too, but, I mean, we'll see. But, I think Lola will get through Izzy easily, and then, we got 3 more women to go. We'll see what happens with that. But all in all, NXT Night 2 of Revenge, I thought was pretty damn good. So I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10 stars. Just an amazing show. Great main event. Match of the year for me in NXT so far. I know we got 8 months to go. But this was a great show. 7.5 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys think of the show down below in the comment section. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright guys, I'm gonna go take a little walk in the park. Get some fresh air. Gotta do a couple of errands as well. I'll be back later, right here on the channel with your AEW Dynamite and Collision review. And then later on tonight, probably late tonight, over on my Killer Demon 669 channel, your TNA Ring of Honor review. And we'll finish up the week. And then Monday, I will do that Rock and Roll Hall of Shame inductees video. Get that out of the way. And then get ready for Monday Night Raw. And then we'll be back on a hopefully normal basis. Not the take 5 days to do a fucking review, because, I'm busy. So I gotta work, I got lots of appointments and stuff like that, meetings, and I got a concert this coming weekend. I'm gonna see Motionless in White at the Garden. Ho ho! That's gonna be fun. And then the following 2 weeks after that, I got events coming up. I got an indie show coming up near the end, not Memorial Day weekend, the week before that. So, got that. And then, May 9th, I'm not going to be around because I'm going to an event with the missus and some friends. So, not going to be watching Backlash. I watch the replay. I will see, I'm gonna obviously get notifications like, oh, who won this and that. Hopefully my tribal chief Roman Reigns beats Jacob. See what all the matches get announced this week, because we basically got a week. This week and next week is the go home. We got 4 shows left before Backlash, and then 2 weeks after that, Memorial Day weekend, we got Double or Nothing. I think is that going head to head with something? I gotta look. We got Double or Nothing on the 25th, and then the 31st of May is Clash in Italy, which is going to be an early start. It's going to be like a 1, 2 o'clock start. So, get some early wrestling from Italy. We have some pasta, some pizza, whatever we're going to get. And then watch the pay-per-view, and then take a nap. And then we'll begin June, right after that on Monday Night Raw. And that's it. But all that aside, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that bell. Don't forget to turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything coming up this week and all through May, all through the rest of the year. And that's that. But until next time, my friends, 7.5 out of 10 stars for NXT. We'll see what happens this Tuesday on the program. And that's it. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys a little bit later. But until then, peace.